I think we need to hold each other to a schedule.
Yeah, I think, like, this is perfect for me, like a Sunday morning type thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, I know your job doesn't really allow all the time for that, so.
Let's see what we figure out.
Or I could, you know, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Sure.
I think when like, you really want to do it, you do it.
Yeah,
Even if we just said we're going to do this once a month.
Yeah.
I think we should be able to commit to that once a month.
I think so.
You know, if we just said every third Sunday, this is what we're going to do, and that's what we would do.
I like it. Third Sunday?
Whatever. You know, I'm just saying that because this is the third Sunday of this month. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just made a schedule.
Yeah.
You're the boss, man.
Every third Sunday. That could be, I don't know.
Morning, John.
Good morning again, Chris.
They have no clue that this is the second time we're re-recording our introductions.
Goddamn amateur hour.
Yeah, man. Apparently, I was speaking with a soft voice. I'm Chris.
I'm John.
And this is...
Every third Sunday.
Really, I think we named the show Hunter and Lombardo. So they're
now it's Hunter and Lombardo every third Sunday.
Is it Chris Lombardo and John Hunter? Like, they don't even fucking... whatever. Fuck them. Fuck them in the ass.
Fuck them in the other ass.
So I was in the other ass.
What's that? Goodfellas. Fuck them in the ear. Fuck them in the other ear. Yeah.
I was standing on a crane the other day.
Yeah.
With the mechanic, and when it comes to a crane, the wire rope, you really want to keep it lubricated and keep a lot of like oil and grease on it to keep it from rusting away because it moves a lot, you know. So it's like caked in fucking oil, and I'm like laughing at the mechanic, and I'm like, man, you didn't fuck around, like you really
lubed it up.
Yeah, you really got this thing fucking lubed up. And he's like, well, it's better than being dry. I'll tell you what, next time you're getting fucked in the ass, I'll bet you wish it was lubed up a little.
One of the kids on my son's Xbox thing, you know, they have like fucking gamer tags and shit.
Yeah.
Some of these kids got great gamer tags. Great. The one kid was Going In Dry. That was his name, Going In Dry. And then another kid, it was like a whole thing. It said like the couch pulls out, but I don't. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
that's great.
Yeah, these kids are fucking nasty.
Dude, I think that it's I vaguely paid attention when there was the riots and that young white kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, shot the 4 guys. But I did think it was hilarious that the judge or like the somebody, one of the lawyers was like, is your screen name on Twitter 4 doors for more whores? He's a 16-year-old kid. Of course it's something fucking ridiculous. Stupid, right. You know, are we really having a fucking trial right now?
Yeah.
Like,
I hate that when people do shit like that, when they like try to defame somebody's character for something like totally fucking normal.
I can't believe you act like a fucking adolescent, you know? He is.
Yeah.
So, dude, I gotta tell you, man, I gotta start the episode by apologizing because you wanted to record last week at the end of the week.
Right.
And it sounded to me like you were like in a good mood and you texted and you were like, hey, man, I got some free time. I got the day off. You know, why don't we try to record one?
Right.
And the worst part is I didn't give you any explanation. I was just like, I'm really busy, man. I can't do it today. And the truth is I had the day off. Or no, I worked, but I was done really early.
Yeah.
But I was having a really like, it's hard to say a shitty day because I don't really have I have shitty days, but like, I have to come to grips with the fact that I have bad days emotionally.
You're in a funk.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe sometimes the bipolar thing is real. Sometimes I just like wake up and I'm fucking just not happy. I do
it too. I mean, I'm not particularly that happy right this moment. You know? I'll be honest with you. Like, just like for the past few weeks, I've been a little funky. I think on the last show we recorded, I was a little funky.
I just think it's because I turned you down.
Yeah. No. Look, man, this was supposed to be every 3 weeks, but I think we've recorded about as many episodes as we would had we been doing this for like 9 months at this point.
Yeah, well, that's part of the fun.
Yeah, it is part of the fun. I mean, it's just kind of like we kind of were under this impression that like we were going to be too busy to do this, and like we really like doing it, so it's like we worked it into doing it.
Yeah.
Like we kind of probably are too busy to always do it, but we want to do it, so we do it.
I mean, honestly, today I was like, all right, I'm going to go over to my shop and get some shit done. And then I was like, it's fucking miserable out.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'd rather sit here and hang out with you.
Yeah, I didn't go to the gym today because of this. And, also, I just feeling kind of funky. I just had like 3 really good days at the gym. And I figured, this would be good a day as any to not go at all. So,
yeah.
That's what I did.
Sometimes I think mental health is... Like, I don't know, in our country, I swear, I feel like we just have no grasp on how to handle it. You know? Like, is it really that bad if, like, an employee's having a bad day and he just says, you know what, dude, fuck this, I'm leaving early. I want to go home and sit on the couch. Like the large majority of us blue-collar types would look at him like, dude, you're a piece of shit. How come you didn't just stay and work? And the reality is like, I think... you need to fucking have those moments to like
recoup.
Yeah, like, dude, there are times where instead of going to my shop and like working on a car or like fixing shit or doing an oil change on my car, which is fucking, I don't know, almost 1,000 miles overdue, dude, sometimes I'm like, you know what, fuck that, I'm gonna sit here and watch some TV show that like
some meaningless shit, just kind of...
Dude, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. Like, I'm gonna fucking, know. I feel guilty because I'm like, my kids are at the babysitter, and my wife's out fucking working, like, on this business that she started, and I'm like, mentally just drained.
I think if you have the presence of mind to realize that that's what it is, and it's a temporary thing that you're gonna do for the next few hours or for today, but you know that you're gonna get back to business.
Yeah.
Shortly. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, but there's
people out there that don't. They don't fucking get up for days at a time. They don't get up for weeks at a time, sometimes years. Like, sometimes some people, that's their life.
Yeah.
Is being on that couch, watching TV. And so I think, like, that's part of being consistent. I kind of follow, like, an 80-20 rule. Like, if I'm consistent 80% of the time, the other 20% of the time, you can't really get mad at yourself because you know your intention is to get back at it.
I like that.
That's kind of how I look at it. I think, like, when people recognize, like, I'm fucking up right now, just the recognition that you're fucking up right now is a step in the right direction. Some people just keep fucking up and they don't give a fuck. A lot of people, not some people, a lot of people. So I wouldn't get too down on yourself. Like, I wasn't upset that you didn't want to record it, Yeah. I just figured, fuck it, I got a day off, and,
Did you go to the gym?
I did, yeah.
Shit, all right, it was productive for you.
No, I mean, I did. Look, I went through past, like, 2 weeks. I was kind of, like, a little funky and got a little inconsistent with going to the gym. The only thing I was doing was going to work kind of thing, and I couldn't figure out what it was, but,
I'm going to make a lot of noise right now. I realized how I fucked up here. I apologize. Oh, look at that. I'm all nice and clear again. You big fucking dummy. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Hey, look at that. Now,
there you go.
Now
you sound much better.
That's because the microphone was facing you.
Oh.
Because I am a fucking idiot.
Good Lord. What a fool.
My God. I am such an amateur at this podcasting thing.
Yeah.
What an asshole. So I do want to, I'll tell you what, I don't know, I can edit this later if he doesn't like this, but I do want to say that I appreciate some of the fans that we have.
Oh, yeah.
Your ex gives a lot of feedback.
She loves it. Dude, she looks forward to it.
Yeah, I sincerely appreciate the fans that we have that tune in for us. And, you and I talk off the air, and sometimes we're like both... Maybe I don't present it as well as you because, like, you're openly eager. Like, dude, I want this thing to fucking grow. Let's sprinkle some water on it, put it in the sun. Let's fucking, let's grow this fucking thing, And me, I guess I'm more like scheming in my mind, like how the fuck do I get people to tune in to our show? Podcasting is so difficult because
a lot of people do it.
A lot of people do it, but also the ones, it's very slow growing, man. It's like a cactus in the desert. It just fucking, it takes 1,000,000 years for it to fucking turn into something, you know? And therefore it requires diligence and it requires dedication and, you know, so really I do want to thank our fans like you, Kevin Healy, that you and I went to school with, and he gives you a lot of feedback, and even I hope he'll let us use some of his...
He actually just texted me and said no problem.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I think,
his songs are amazing.
Yeah, I would really like to use some of his music at the end here, and if we ever make money, he'll get some royalties out of it, you know? We'll give him like maybe 0.100%, like really small amount of royalties.
You get a check for 3
cents. It's like the
cents.
MC Hammer deal, you know? Like, hey, thanks, you know? How's your asshole feel?
No, there's a lot of people that really do enjoy it and they get into it and stuff, and they'll send me messages and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it was so good this week. I really liked what you talked about, and my friend Ashley, who listens every week, and my girl listens to it with me on Sunday nights, and she's it's almost like she's having the show with us, like when she's listening, because she'll start saying, and it's like, all right, give it a second. We're going to say exactly, like she's right, because she's in my head. Like, she knows how I talk.
That guy Chris is such a pice of shit. John, why does he treat you like that?
No, it'll be like, we'll just start talking about a topic, and then she'll say something that I know is coming up, like immediately, because she just knows how I think. Like, she knows me that well. So, like, I'm going to get to that. Hold on a second. Here it comes. Yeah.
The funniest thing is my wife doesn't listen to podcasts.
Right.
She used to, every now and then she'll tune in, and like she probably listened to our first episode, but she's just not really that into podcasts, so like unless we started talking about fucking dogs and poodles and all kinds of
it's gotta be a special interest type thing for her.
Yeah, she's really focused on what she does for a living. It's more than just a living, it's her hobby as well. So like she's like she's like straight as an arrow in that direction,
right?
But it's funny because like I'll say like, oh yeah, well, did you hear the episode? And it's like, and it's funny to me because I listened to Kevin Smith, the director, of Jay and Silent Bob, and he's done a lot of movies at this point. But like, he's doing stand up now, and he literally is like he asked his wife, hey, do you watch my TV show that we do, which is
Comic Book Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, did you watch the episode? And she's like, fuck no, I don't watch that shit. Like,
yeah, that's funny.
She's like, I'm just glad you have a place to go to talk to somebody else because I don't want to fucking hear it. You're a dork.
See, I'm too critical of myself. Like, I have to go back and listen to it at least once.
So I listen to every episode we do. I mean, I think that the only difference, and you and I have discussed this 100,000 times, is that it's just that I've been doing this almost 5 years now, and I've gotten to the point where like I know that I have to just cut it off and like not be too critical of myself.
Yeah.
Or just make adjustments for the next episode and like, okay, yep, I definitely interrupted John a lot on that episode. It's time to back off and let him breathe and let him, express some ideas. And that's one thing I listened to all of our episodes, and then the other day I started re-listening to them because I was trying to steal sound bites,
right,
to make the Instagram
make little clips
stuff
or whatever, right?
And a lot of it is like, dude, I'm a fucking loudmouth, man. I talk a lot. Like sometimes I'm like,
But if you weren't a loudmouth and you didn't talk a lot, you wouldn't be sitting down here doing it. So I think that's some of it is like the thing that you find fault in is probably the thing that is the catalyst for the better part of it.
Well, I think we're all critical of ourselves in a certain way. You and I talk, and you'll say, "Damn, I should have said this." Like off air, you'll say, "Like, oh man, I thought about this after I said it." So you're editing. You're trying to edit
all the time.
And to me, I guess I'm not editing. I'm just preparing for the future, and I'm like, okay. All right, I talk too much. I need to, bring up topics that are more than just what I like. You know, like I think it's about engaging in both of us.
Yeah, it's
this
hard.
This is a co-host. This is a partnership.
Yeah.
It's not Chris's show.
No, I know.
You know? So, and that's important. I think I want you specifically to know that.
I think it's hard for me and you as it is to be that relatable to a lot of people on a broader scale because we're very like, we're kind of like into what we're into kind of thing. like we have special interest. The things that interest are not the common things that interest everybody. Not to say that there's not a crowd out there or like obviously, you know, I don't think I'm the only person in the world that likes lowbrow art or, you know, things like that. Or you're not the only guy out there that, you know, likes to laugh about, you know,
dead babies in a trash can.
Yeah, like there's plenty of people that want to laugh at, you know, irreverent things and stuff like that. So.
Well, there used to be. I don't know about anymore.
I think there is. I think people like to say that they don't, but they do.
Your buddy Kevin Healy used to be kind of like he was a grunge kid, man. I remember him drawing in art class, and he definitely, me, him, and Nate, and then Trish, I mean, he was like right there with us, like drawing like, you know, kind of like morbid shit, you know, and like, I loved it. I loved his artwork. I think he had a very particular eye, you know, and then like, I thought I was very dark. I have books over there. We'll have to check them out sometime, but it's dark shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, the one drawing in there is fucking downright like, it's the dad shot himself, and then the little girl standing in the door saying, "Dad, what was that loud noise?" And you're like, oh, dude,
I like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh my god,
like just,
man.
Yeah, ridiculous kind of cartoon humor. Yeah.
I mean, this is where that fucking my head was when I was, you know, 16, 17 years old, like. But everything was dark in the 90s.
Right.
Like, at least in my perspective, the music was dark. Even hip-hop was dark and aggressive. And
yeah, but it was better that way. I can't listen to rap now. Like, I don't know. I don't get it at all. Like, I don't like the... I think it's almost depressing. Like
it is depressing, and I think it's rhythmic. So lately I've been listening to more... I've been finding these songs on TikTok, and I'm like, I like it. I don't know what the guy's saying, but it's rhythmic.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's how I get pulled in, and I'm like, I definitely like the beat and the rhythm of it, and it's definitely got a dark, droning...
Yeah, the droning is what I think that's what kind of freaks me out about it.
I kind of like that.
I like changes and stuff, and changes in tempo. And
you know what's funny is, like, while we're discussing mental health, I sometimes wonder, what is better? Is it better to ignore it, or is it better to have it open and like some kid drawing dark shit? Because right now, like I had a friend of mine who's a tattoo artist down in Maryland, and he said he's got a 5-year-old son who's autistic, and the kid drew, like, I guess the kid drew his teacher, or maybe he's 8 years old. He's in school, so the kid drew the teacher like dead or with blood all around him or something.
Right.
And then, like, they almost kicked the kid out of school, or like there was like some kind of like they were like called in him, they called in the police. They were like, oh, this might be a threat, you know, like.
I think it would be better to put that on a piece of paper to express it than to hold it in.
I think to myself the same thing. Like, I think that a lot of times nowadays, I think people nowadays want it all to look happy and shiny.
Right.
But it's still the same old bullshit of, like, shove it down, ignore it, and pretend like it's not really happening. Dude, it is happening.
Yeah.
Life is a motherfucker, man.
Mass shootings everywhere and school shootings and all that shit. And you can't just, put somebody who's disgruntled in the corner and go, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's not how it works, you know?
I think that, and it's not even just schools. It's even you and I, man. Like, we're fucking dads. Our job is to just keep this thing going. You know, like, in my mind, I'm old school. I think that, like, mom works too, but, like, it's like, dude, my job is to be the backbone here and make sure everybody's fucking happy, everybody's fed. What's wrong? What's wrong with Genevieve? What's wrong with Christopher? Mom, why are you upset? What the fuck's going on here? How do I fix all these problems?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm a mechanic, and like my logic is I'm here to fix things. I fix things. I'm fucking constantly looking for what's fucking broken.
Yeah.
How do I fix it?
I think if you're the one who's always trying to keep the peace, but you're never really at peace, then,
Could be,
I think everybody has to do a little bit of it.
I think I ignore my problems because it's easier to fix everybody else's problems, or at least I think so, or at least I try to.
Yeah.
I belong to a 12-step program that I guess anybody that's been listening from the beginning they know about this, is like, dealing with my addiction, and I belong to this 12-step fellowship, and it's great because they teach you how to do a lot of self-assessment and being self-aware, but they also kind of very much strongly encourage you to deal with the wreckage of your past. And admittedly, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not, man. I think that's why I have these weird cycles of things come up, and like things remind me of bad shit, or maybe not even remind me of bad shit, but it's just like
it's always there. It's always there in the back of your head somewhere.
It's present.
Like, just because it's lying dormant for 6 months doesn't mean it's not gonna pop up. I go through it too, man. Like there's definitely moments where I have like really dark, depressing days that are kind of like I can't get in the gear at all.
Yeah.
And then you kind of snap out of it so that. But I mean that's life. That's like the ebb and flow of life. I don't think you should really be too upset at yourself about it, to be honest with you.
Well, you know what I do tell people, and I swear it's the honest truth. For every one bad day I have 100 fucking good ones.
Right.
And I think that's largely due to me changing the way I live, and like...
It's more or less the way you think.
I mean, that is it, but I think in the beginning, it's a physical change because that's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
Like for you said, like one of our earlier episodes, maybe the first or second, you were like, I was fucking unhappy with the way my life was, and in your mind, the first answer is I gotta lose fucking weight. I gotta go to the gym and physically change things. But through the process, you learned
the mental benefits far outweigh the physical benefits. And really, your mental health and your physical health just go hand in hand.
Yeah.
They're not two separate things. Like, I think, like, my way of looking at it is everything that you experience in life, whether it's happiness, sadness, whatever it is, your fear, anxiety, everything, it's all based on a chemical reaction in your body. And the world really is just you and your experience. It's just you and the way you perceive things, the way you see things, the way things affect you. And the feelings that you get out of it is all dictated by these chemicals that are going around. If I startle you, there's a chemical reaction. If, you experience loss, there's a chemical reaction. If you're happy, there's a chemical reaction. Everything is based on this chemical experience in your brain. So I think like for me, exercise was probably the most effective antidepressant I could really like throughout my life. And I've been on medication for depression, like I've been on anti-anxiety medication, all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Wasn't a good experience. Like that wasn't what I needed. What I needed was to fix this glaring cornerstone of my personality, which was my weight. And I mean, it continues to be a struggle, even on my best days.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so you say your weight, but I think that's more about.
But I mean, it's
you're self-conscious.
Yeah,
like how you feel about yourself.
Exactly.
Your confidence.
And then you get worried because, like, when you're not in good physical health, things start to break down. Things start to, and you get scared. If you have high blood pressure, you worry about it.
Sure.
And if you're not doing anything to fix it, what more can you do but just kind of sit and wait for something bad to happen?
I'll tell you, like 2 or 3 years ago, I'm trying to think how, because it's always, at this moment, everything equates to like during COVID or before COVID or after COVID. I swear that was like, was really.
We should do a whole episode just on the quarantine thing.
Oh, dude.
Because that was not, for what could have been a great fucking opportunity for people to get creative and to get active, and
I feel like they did.
Some people did, but a lot of people, like for me, I didn't. I went in the other direction.
I know that a lot of people started small businesses, and a lot of people were broke, so they got very creative on how to change their lifestyle. Yeah. But what really is depressing is that, like, when the government kind of like dropped the bans on everything, everybody literally was like, okay, let's go back to the slaughterhouse where everybody wants us to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think
it was like watching cattle go back into the, like, you know, like, it's like, oh, okay, we're out here in this open field. Nah, fuck that. Hurdle them back in and get them into that cattle chute and just send them back into the building where they belong so we can fucking...
I think there is some change to it, though. Like,
there is some change, but not... I don't think for, like, personal freedom and personal joy. I feel like we kind of fell back into the same rhythm.
Yeah.
Know?
I think to some extent, maybe. But I think, like... For me, I think, like, in my experience at work, like, I see people, like, on, like, certain holidays that used to be just as busy as any other day.
Yeah.
People are kind of taking a step back and not having quite an approach to it, like, we need to get so much done today. Like, what holiday just happened in the last couple weeks? Not Valentine's Day, President's Day.
Yeah.
President's Day never meant shit in my business, in the air freight business. We were just as busy any other day on that Monday. But for some reason, incredibly slow. People, like, took a break.
Yeah.
And I notice now, like, around holidays, where it used to be, like, the build-up to the holiday was so busy. And then you'd have, like, 3 slow days. Now it's like the entire month of December is, like, a lull. It's different. It's just people's attitude.
See, now you work in an industry where you would see... especially when it comes
some
to...
of it might be the economy.
I think, honestly, man, from my perspective, a lot of my recent depression has come from the fact that the money that I made over the last 3 to 4 years used to be great. I used to have money tucked away. We used to be...
Now everything costs so much.
Everything is so fucking expensive that it just drains my account instantly, you know? And, like... My wife and I recently sat down. I mean, I was like, all right, because she kept saying, well, why don't we sit down and scrub our bank statements and see where the fuck everything went? And I'm like, dude, there's no magic here. There's no, like, oh, yeah, I forgot that we bought a fucking $20,000. Like, there's none of that. There's none of, dude, we didn't spend money on ridiculous shit.
Everyday items cost exponentially more.
Everyday items, eating out, buying stupid shit on Amazon, which Amazon is a kind of like brilliantly designed evil empire. Because, like,
scary.
Dude, nobody looks at the fucking price of... I mean, they vaguely like, oh yeah, that's only $20, put it in the cart.
Yeah,
oh,
but
yeah, how much is that? That's
it's not that you're not... You are looking
at
at the prices and you are conscious of how cheap things are. But if something that costs $20 is now $13, you're more inclined to buy something else that costs another $15. So you're buying more items.
So then you put it in the cart, and then when the cart, you're like, all right, I got all these items. That's like $106. Okay, buy it. You know, and then like you're fucking doing that a couple times a week, and you're like, oh, whoa, hold on, I just spent $300 groceries. For me, my wife, and my 2 small children.
Probably a good $300-400 a week.
Yeah. You know, so it's like there goes $1,200 to $1,600 a month. You know, and that's like a fucking mortgage note. So like, it's just so expensive. Everything is so fucking expensive.
I mean, and everybody talks about like eggs, how expensive eggs got and stuff like that. And then, you know, I walk into Walmart and I find 5 dozen eggs for $13. So even though in my mind I'm thinking Walmart is like a company that goes into parts, and not to make this sound too political or anything like that, but like to me, Walmart is an evil empire.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
They all are.
Yeah, I think like if you were to put a Walmart in like a place like we were describing a few episodes ago, like in that West Virginia town or something like that, where there's nothing.
Sure.
Then the community would probably benefit greatly.
Yeah.
From something like that. But if you put a Walmart in a place like here, where all of our resources are already met, and then, you know, we have all the access to the goods we need, but then a company like Walmart comes in and sells it exponentially cheaper, you're going to hurt all the businesses around it. So if I go to the butcher shop and their eggs are $5, $6 a dozen, and then I go to Wawa and theirs is $6 a dozen, but then I go to Walmart and I can get 5 dozen for $13.
Yep.
Where's my head? You know, I got a
And
whole
that's
bunch
Amazon.
of people to. Yeah,
Amazon's
that's exactly
just
what
as
it is.
bad because like Amazon is like say for instance,
$84 billion company.
yeah.
Amazon, $84 billion.
You know what amazes me is like I buy car parts. I fix cars. I fix my wife's car, my car. I maintain our entire fleet. I do all our shit. I even help out friends and family, like if they're in a jam. There's a local guy down the street, Church's Auto Parts. My dad grew up with Roger Church, the guy that owns the fucking business. Roger's pushing and he's trying to grow his small business. And there are mechanics in this area that have told me Roger's prices are too high. Fuck that. Just order it on Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow morning.
Right.
And you're like, dude.
It doesn't, in the long run, it doesn't help.
You're a fucking mechanic. You're a small business
Yeah.
owner, operator, telling me to cut out another small business in our community. That's the guy that went to high school with my dad.
Yeah.
I know his kid. His kid's a good kid. He works there too. You know? These are neighborhood guys.
And they got a stronghold on everything. It's not just the practical stuff like car parts.
Yeah.
It's if you're a nerd who collects things.
Anything and everything.
Right.
Man.
You're more inclined to go buy your $20 comic book or something from that guy than you are to buy it from the guy who owns a shop in your neighborhood. It's because it's cheaper, or it'll get here. What do I gotta wait a day? No big deal. And there's no shipping. There's just all this shit. And then meanwhile, the people around you are struggling to make ends meet. They had like a dream that this little shop is going to be my my whole future, and I'm going to dedicate myself passionately to it.
Yeah.
And for what? So some fucking faceless company like Amazon can make all the money? Sucks.
I don't know, man. It's just tough because you're just like. This all started with like the prices and how it's like making us depressed, and like even me, like so buying and selling used cars and kind of fixing them up, and dude, nobody's buying anything right now.
Nah, because they're afraid to spend their money right now.
Man.
They don't know what's going to happen, so it's like they don't want to spend any of the money that they do have.
Sociology tells us that right now it's like the big old
like a holding pattern.
Yeah, big old holding pattern. Just sit on it, man. Just wait. Yep. Even the stock market, when I'm watching my stocks,
it's not really doing anything.
Nothing, man. It floats. I have like a couple grand that I play with right now, and I have them invested in this in the top 10 best yielding stocks of last year. So like, this is basically the Dow Jones. What is it? The Index 500 or whatever. It's like you choose the top 10 from that list. And it's kind of like a marker of like how well, the stock market's actually doing. Dude, it floats between like 1990 up to like sometimes it'll reach as high as like $2,020. It's floating $30. $30 over $2,000 is it's up or down.
It doesn't feel like that.
It hasn't moved in like 2 years.
Right.
Like that's all the movement it's done in 2 years.
I used to do that too. I used to put a little bit of money in that TD Ameritrade.
Yeah.
And like buy and sell things left and right. And I would just see that like there's not a whole lot happening here. It's like, I put all this money into like this lemonade stock or something. And then it like fucking dips. And then it just climbs back slowly. And then it dips. And it's like nothing's...
So everybody right now is hot to trot, or they were a few years ago, about the marijuana stocks. Everybody was like, holy shit, marijuana's legal now. You can buy stocks in it. Rah, rah, rah. And I still think that if you own marijuana stocks, you should just be extremely patient and fucking sit on it. I mean, honestly, you should be buying it right now because it's fucking low.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it goes lower, fuck it, buy more and wait. Because the economy is not going to stay like this forever. That's the honest truth. And as long as you can weather this fucking storm and then just sit and be patient, I mean, if you had a 5-year plan, I think you'll be very happy with yourself.
Yeah.
I
was like I would get obsessed about it and start looking into like these like battery mining shit and all the like all kinds of stuff. And I would just like, oh yeah, okay, so there's some future in that. And then I'd go buy a few of these stocks and just see that it gets really hard. Like you have to be able to not look at it.
That is the key.
Yeah, don't look at it.
Honestly, man, you should In my opinion, you should buy something and sit on it. Right now is the perfect time if you have even a little bit of money, $100.
Yeah.
Go set up a Robinhood account, buy something, and just sit on it. You know, as long as it's not like some junk. Like, don't be like thinking that the Wolf of Wall Street is like something that you can replicate. You're not gonna buy penny stocks and fucking like, you know,
you're not gonna
set the world on
fire.
Like,
right.
Dude, the people that actually accomplish that literally hit the lottery. Like, nobody fucking knew.
The odds are really against you.
I mean, dude, buying IBM in the fucking 80s is like, dude, the guys that did that, you know, like, nobody fucking saw it happening.
Right.
You know, that's the same with Bitcoin. You know, 5 years ago when it was up to $60,000, you know, a coin is like.
Now it's not doing jack shit.
Now it's down to 20, and it's probably going to stay there forever because there's just so much. I think the securities and exchange are getting involved, and like, you know, now they want to send you 1099 if you own it, and like it's being regulated, and like that was the big sales pitch for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Oh, it's unregulated. They can't control it. Dude, they always find a way. They always find a way. Who do you think probably owns the largest portion of Bitcoins?
Right.
The U.S. fucking government.
Exactly.
You know? You think that we're like...
You can't rebel against things all the time. You just can't. Like, you have to figure out a way to do your thing within the parameters.
So the comedy is like when I used to talk to friends about politics and they would float one way or the other, they'd always like, when Trump's in office, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and my money's going to be worth so much. And the truth is wealthy people, extremely intelligent, wealthy people, Warren Buffett and like Elon Musk and all these guys that know what the fuck they're doing, their money hasn't changed because they just change strategies whenever there's a small hiccup in the road, like, you know, an epidemic or the fucking presidential change.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. Elon Musk doesn't give a fuck about how much groceries cost, not because he's a billionaire, but because he knows how to adjust his growth of income. Okay, you know, the Democrats are more concerned with Greenpeace right now. It's really a good time to own Tesla stock or some kind of renewable energy source. That stuff is probably growing right now. But if you ain't got no money to put into it, or like, and I mean money as in like a large amount, you know?
Right.
If you're putting, like I do, like, I use my small amounts of money just to kind of like practice and learn. To me, it's like playing slots at the casino. Like, I'm gambling. I'm fucking gambling. I'm not, you know, I'm not investing. I don't, excuse me, I don't really want to take a big risk. I'm fucking scared to, you know?
Yeah.
So, I feel like this is one of them moments where I talked a lot.
I don't know. I'm just here to bullshit, so.
Yeah, I mean, so back to the mental health thing, man. I think that, I think I'm bouncing back. The weather's definitely bringing me down a little bit. You know, it's up.
Yeah, it's up
I think
and
it's
down.
It's
the fluctuation.
Dude, this is the like I think this is early spring. Like this is the that turmoil between winter and spring. You know,
it's bizarre. Like it was 70 degrees on Saturday, I think, and like now it's like dreary, cold, and wet. And or wait, was it like 20 degrees on Saturday? What day was cold? One day it was really cold. One day it was like fucking beautiful outside.
So Saturday Sunday morning we took the kids down to Tinicum to one of the parks down there.
Yeah.
Like that park right on the corner, like of 291 and fucking 420.
Governor Prince?
Is that what? No, that's not Governor Prince. The right there on the corner, like next to 95.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice park, and they got a nice walking
right.
path.
Yeah.
So like we took the kids there, and I only wore a fucking sweater, and I didn't have a wool hat on or nothing.
No pants?
Nah, I mean just dick
Better
hanging
now.
out, man. Just you know,
That's cool.
I mean in underwear, you know.
Nature boy. I like it.
Nature boy.
Yeah.
But and then Gabby's in a fucking hoodie and like.
No pants either.
No pants either, man.
Oof.
Just fucking just beaver, ready to eat some wood, you know.
We're not clothed right now either. So,
yeah,
we're nude.
Hey, John.
2 dudes nude.
I'm rubbing my nips.
Some food.
And I'm drinking lemon and honey and boiling hot water.
I'm not gay. I always find that funny. I don't know why I think that line is so funny.
What?
I think it's the insecurity of it. Like, guys that work that in, like, there's like a reassurance where people tell themselves, like, they say something gay or something, and then they like tell themselves, I'm not gay. I think that's funny. Like, it's like,
it's just insecure people.
Yeah. I think that's the funniest shit in the world. That little, like, I love, like, insecure humor. Like,
do you want to hear a great one, man?
Sure.
So, years ago, I was attending some of my meetings in my 12-step fellowship, and this young Italian guy, who's big and husky, big muscle-bound looking dude, he kind of comes up, and we're all standing out front waiting for the meeting to start. And he comes up, and he's full of piss and vinegar, and he's bullshitting with some of the other guys there because he knows them. And I start busting his balls a little bit, and I can see instantly he's a very insecure kind of guy. He's like, oh, like,
yeah,
oh, what, bro? What? Like, definitely a bro monster. Like, definitely, like, like this dickhead. All right. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna have some fucking fun with this, and I'm like talking shit. So then, like, this occurred over a few months. So then I would start seeing him around, and he would start getting kind of lippy and talking shit. And then a few times, like, he would walk up and do the little slap box and or pretend like he's gonna punch me in the shoulder. And I'm like, don't fucking touch me. Like, listen, we can joke around, but don't physically touch me. You don't know what the fuck you're about to do.
Right.
So it kind of like slowly started getting a little more aggressive, and he started getting like way more ballsy, So a friend of mine knew him pretty well, and I said, Billy, I'm gonna fuck with him real bad, all right? And I need you to play along. So at one point, the dude walks up, and he punched me right in the shoulder, and he's like, what? And I said, listen, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, you better knock it off, because I fuck guys bigger than you, And like, he's like, what? Bro, get away from me, dude. Get away from me. Are you a fag? And he's like, dude, he is like fucking like upset.
Like homophobic
as
shit. Yeah.
Bro, he went off the fucking deep end, like instantly got very defensive. And I was just like standing there, and I like kept a straight face, and I just kept like staring at him like, you want to find out, So then at one point, my buddy Billy is talking to the dude, and this guy starts asking him, yo, what's up with Hunter? Like, is that dude fucking gay? And then Billy's like, dude, man. Billy did it perfect. He did it so great with a straight face. He goes, I got to be honest, I've never seen him with a chick.
That's a nice touch, yeah. Yeah. Not just like, oh, no, he's in the dude. Like, I got to be honest, I think he is.
He's like, I don't know. Like, I don't recall seeing him with a chick ever. So, like, be careful, So eventually, like, actually, it's got a good ending. This story's got a good ending because, like, I would see him a few more times, and then I started, like, fucking with him some more, and I blew him a kiss one time, and dude, he, like...
Oh, man.
So that was, like, when it almost got into a fist fight, is I blew him a kiss, and then he's, like, screaming and shit, and he's, like, calling me a faggot, and I'm, like... So, like, finally, like, he comes over, and I said, listen, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not fucking gay, but I am gonna beat your fucking ass if you touch me. Like, I told you not to touch me. I'm a U.S. Army fucking veteran. I'm older than you. I served from 99 to 03. Do the math. Where do you think, what do you think my life was like compared to you little shithead that goes to the gym and takes steroids?
Right.
I don't want to hear this right now. And he's like, oh, how old are you? And I'm like, I think at the time I was like 33 or 34, and he was like in his early 20s. Mm. I'm like, dude, you need to calm your fucking ass down because you have no idea what I'm going to do to you. So it was getting aggressive, and I still didn't like the guy. And then this older guy, there was a friend of mine who was just full of wisdom and very at peace with life, So here comes Mr. fucking Steroids walking up again. And I'm like, dude, this fucking guy, like, and he had a shit-eating grin on his face, like he was going to like start running his mouth again. And I'm like, I'm not fucking dealing with this guy. So I tell my buddy Gregory, who's a, older guy, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm leaving. I don't want to fucking do this today. I don't want to deal with this stupid shit. And then Gregory is like a fucking Jedi. Like this guy like understands. He understands emotions and like how to like fucking pull some Jedi mind trick shit. So like he says, "Yeah, you don't like that guy? Why don't you like him?" And, I tell him the whole thing, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. You know what I think you should do? I think you should walk the fuck over there and give him a hug and ask him how he's doing and fucking mean it." And I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking, I don't want to do that, So then I do. I'm like, all right, Gregory, I'll tell you what, let's fucking try this.
I bet you changed the complexion of your whole fucking relationship with that guy.
Dude, I walked over there, and before he started running his fucking mouth, I literally was like, I didn't hug him right off the bat because I'm pretty like, I have a weird thing about like people touching me, like unless it's my wife or kids, like I'm not really like, I don't like contact, know?
Yeah.
So like I literally just walked up and I'm like, "Hey man, how are you doing today?" And was like completely sincere about it. And he was like, but then like you could see like this change in his face where like he was like
let his guard down a little bit.
Dude, instantly. Like it's like just something fell and he was like, "No, actually I'm here because I'm not fucking doing good." And like,
yeah,
well,
I mean, I think like if you're there for meetings,
yeah,
you're kind of all in the same boat to a certain extent. Right?
Yeah, but we don't know, as men, we don't know how to let our guards down, So like that, I think that was his moment of realizing, like, instead of fucking around, how about we have a real conversation? And he did. He sat there and talked to me for a minute, and I did give him a fucking hug afterwards. And I did say, "Hey, listen, man, I'll tell you what." I actually gave him my number too, and said, "Dude, if you ever need to fucking talk, you can call me, man. You can fucking call me, and I'll talk to you. Like, we don't have to do this bullshit no more. We don't have to pretend like we're tough guys." Like, I don't know where the fuck you're from, and I don't know what you've dealt with, and you definitely don't know me, so, like, let's just be regular-ass fucking dudes.
Yeah, I think all that bravado and shit probably is born out of some kind of insecurity or something,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have a bad habit of getting a little aggressive in public places. Like Boost Corners freaks me out sometimes.
Yeah, you're telling me that.
Yeah, man. And
for me, it's like I want to enjoy myself. Like if I put forth the effort to go there to begin with, I certainly don't want to go there to get upset. You know what I mean?
I don't want to get upset. It's really that I just want certain food or items from there.
Yeah.
So like in my mind, I mentally have to prepare. Like, okay, listen, the sausages are at the end deli down there, and they got the peppered bacon right there too. And then I'm gonna run up there and get some fucking homemade lemonade from that lady. And then we'll stop and get a smoothie for me and the kids. And then, like, fucking beeline right back out to the car and get the fuck out of this parking lot before the psychos show up. But I'm one of the psychos, So, like, I'm just trying to avoid the other psychos.
I kind of reserve something like that for, like, maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't go that often. But, when I do, I have a good time.
I love the food, and I love, I do love...
We like to browse. My whole family likes it. Well, me and my girl really does. She likes to look at whatever. She can have a great time in like a Goodwill. And
really?
I hate going to the Goodwill. I hate it.
It's funny because me and my wife are both the same. Like, we don't enjoy shopping.
Nah,
I don't like window
it's not so
shopping.
It's not so much shopping. It's kind of like this browsing type thing. But like, she likes to find value in something that seems otherwise worthless. Like,
yeah,
I guess like in Goodwill, like, and I like the thriftiness of it. Like, if you find something nice in there and we didn't spend $50 on it, then great. But like, and I'm not so proud to not own something that somebody else owned. I don't think that way. That's not who I am.
Sure.
But and she certainly isn't either. But I just hate being in the places. Like, I can't stand standing there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I can't do
trying to find it.
I'm the kind of guy that I have it in my mind what I want. Like if I need, like right now I need a new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I'll go down to Cabela's because I like hiking shoes. I think they're comfortable, and I'm not like a I don't really give a fuck about Nikes or Adidas or any of that stuff. So like in my mind, I literally beeline it straight to the shoes. What do you got? Okay. Oh, I like that pair right there.
Right.
You got them in a size 8.5. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. That's it. Like there's no. I don't browse. I don't wander around and look at stuff. Like we try to a little bit with the kids just to get them.
I mean, I got to be interested in what I'm looking at. You know.
Yeah, like I guess I could browse a little bit in Cabela's, but it also depends on. I kind of get depressed. Like if I can't afford to buy nothing right now, then I don't want to fucking look at it. You know, that's like I'm always amazed at like guys that are like, oh, I just went down to the car dealership. I just kind of wanted to see what this new Camaro looked like, and
I'm not going to a car dealership
dude,
unless
fuck
I have
that Camaro, man. I don't want nothing to do with a fucking $90,000 Camaro. You know, but yeah, that's cool. It looks great on the TV. You know,
But that's the extent of it. Like the car thing. Like I mean, yours is different. Like you got the hot rod with the bucket seat and all that. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like that's something that you like poured a lot of time into.
Yeah.
That's when I see that. If I see you driving that on the street, I'm like, wow, that's some cool shit.
Yeah.
But if I see like one of these fucking cars that people perceive as being nice cars,
yeah,
I'm gonna see you for 3 fucking seconds. I don't give a shit what you're in.
I think
I'm not driving it.
Yeah, but so in the car world, there's and it's definitely a blue collar perspective.
Right.
Is the built not bought? You know, like the idea that like this guy bought this old shitty looking rusty car like myself and like
poured time into it.
There's that respect. You know, but there are them guys that go out and buy like a Hellcat, and it's like
right.
Dude,
and I don't care because okay, you can afford that, and I just drove by you and I seen you driving. I'm very proud of you. So like I don't care.
So the hardest part is that like us guys that build cars, dude, I would love to have a Hellcat, but I'll be honest, I'm so thrifty and cheap that like I'm not buying that car unless I find some incredible fucking deal, and I mean like.
Incredible.
Like if I could find one with like a, you know, it needs some serious body work, but it's only $20,000. All right. I mean, I might be interested then because I know I could fucking fix it up and make it mine, you know. But like, I'm a fixer-upper kind of guy. I don't want, you know, and even the fact that it's very modern looking, like, I'm not.
It takes away from the nostalgia to see it kind of like.
I mean, you see
rounded off in certain areas, and so it doesn't look the same, right?
Plastic bumpers, man. I have so like my car that I have now is a 1978 Malibu.
Yeah, and, which is awesome, and I've seen it outside, and I see you work on it, like online and stuff like that, and that is different. That's a different kind of thing. Like,
well, I think it's literally the last muscle car with real chrome bumpers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like after that, I don't think any car. I mean, that's a 78, and they made that until about 86 or 87, and then after that, it went over to plastic bumpers or bumper covers.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like the hot rod community, I've had guys say to me, "Well, you know, you can lighten the car up if you get rid of them chrome bumpers." I'll never get rid of these chrome bumpers. Yeah. This is what it's supposed to look like with chrome bumpers. It's an old fucking muscle car with chrome bumpers.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want it to look like a fucking like a you
don't want it to be modernized.
Fucking Hellcat. I don't want it to look like that. You know.
If you wanted that, you'd go get that, right?
Yeah. So.
But there's a different feeling that you have towards something that there's craftsmanship involved.
Sure.
It's just like with me with drawing. Like if somebody can produce it on their computer in half the time it takes me to draw it, I obviously am not as interested in it as I am in somebody that really pours in the time and effort to meticulously put in details by hand.
Yeah.
Like there's a different level of consciousness or purpose that goes into that piece of art than there is for somebody who can achieve it quickly.
I think it's always evolving because digital artwork is definitely taking over the comic book community and the fine arts community. Like now you have people that are spending money for AI to make a portrait of
See,
them.
I don't like that. Because I think it draws from too many resources that are somebody else's.
Yeah, and it's all bullshit because it's just, like nobody created that, like
Right.
that's not the computer didn't like come out of its imagination to create this. It, like you said, it's literally using other iconic images and blending it with yours.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing. It's not creating something.
It's not really. That's not art.
Yeah.
Right.
So like this is the thing though. I think art constantly evolves and changes itself. So like for a little while there, graffiti and Banksy had a huge
Yeah, but
part to play.
Banksy's he's kind of there's a message behind some of that too.
Sure.
Like,
Well, I think that's the point of graffiti, though, that it got away from it in the like the '90s. Graffiti turned into like a very artful, colorful menagerie. But then it's like Banksy kind of brought it back to the fact that it is a political statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a social statement. The little girl holding the red balloons, or the soldier, with the rifle and the flower on the end of it. Dude, these are he's saying something about our society, and then like, and it's neat because it's eccentric. But anyway, so I think art evolves, and we as artists, it's important for you and I to
kind of adapt a little bit.
You have to adapt. You have to look at. So I saw that this guy that's painting cars, and he's doing it so that it looks like animation. It looks very.
Like 3D animation kind of thing.
It's hard to explain.
I think I know what you mean. Like you almost put like black lines in the. And
so
then,
he's giving it. He's giving it texture. He's literally repainting, like hand brush painting on side of the cars, to make it look like it's got animation and like cartoonish shading on it with cross hatching and stuff. And when you look at it, it looks like a fucking cartoon rolling down the street. It's a fucking brand new 2023 Corvette that has like this.
But that's a level of craftsmanship.
It is, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, the guy that's doing this is now making buku bucks.
Because nobody else can do it.
People are bringing him. They can definitely do it.
Well, they can do it, but I mean, he's original with it.
Yeah, he was the first one that was like, I'm going to replicate this, and I'm going to make this. This is my thing that I'm going to do. And he's signing the cars, and now his cars are going to be worth ungodly amounts of fucking money.
But it's like, like for me, it's like if you look at movie posters.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you go back to like the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, they were all hand drawn.
Yep.
Meticulously hand drawn posters. Yeah. You think of these dudes like Drew Struzan, who did like all that Lucasfilm stuff. He's like one of my favorite artists on the planet, and. Who's the other? John Alvin, I think, was another guy he did. But, like, Chris Achilleos, all these guys, like, all these fucking amazing artists that really, like, poured time and effort and perfected the way to draw things. And, yeah, there's a certain level of reproducing images, like, from photos and stuff. But it's still, the end product is this hand-drawn, beautiful piece of artwork. And sometimes those posters are better than the movies.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to say to me, like, hey, like...
I always think about Blade Runner.
Right, yeah, Blade Runner, right. Like, and the guy who drew Blade Runner posters, he kind of felt like the setting of the story was a character in the story, and he didn't want to draw the poster unless he could draw the architecture of the city in the poster. So, like, but now we kind of got away from that, and now the movie poster gets dictated by, like, these actors or the production companies and stuff. And, like, the actor thinks that, he's making so much money on the money. He's such a prominent part. He wants his face to be more illuminated on the picture. So now they're just using a poster. They're putting a graphic on there. You got the floating heads. And there's nothing creative about it. It's just, some jerk-off can put it together. And look, those graphic designers are good in their own right.
He's a jerk off.
But
he's the cunt of the day.
It's just I'm not trying to take anything away from those guys. They're just doing their job, kind of thing. But I would much rather, like, the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about the movie. The movie ain't that good. But the poster's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
The character looks great. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I just think that a lot of that is just gone. By the way, I think it'll come back.
Well, so I think it evolves. Like, I got into filmmaking because I think that filmmaking is the modern artist, To create an image and a motion image requires lighting and
that's all drawing is really
scene design and like where am I gonna place these characters on the set and where all right, now we're gonna do a close up. And I love some of my favorite directors are specifically because they do particular shots that Spike Lee invented this way of filming a particular shot that's like it's his signature shot.
Is the one where like the person is like standing still but everything around them is moving?
Yeah. So the camera's mounted on them and facing them so that it looks like everything in the background is very shaky. It looks like the character is kind of like in very much a hurry. And so like and people that don't particularly pay great attention don't realize...
They don't even realize the work that goes into making that shot.
People have no idea the brilliance behind all of that. I saw a TikTok video the other day, and I thought, my God, they have no fucking clue how long it took to make this 3-minute fucking video.
Mm-hmm.
It was stop motion of a Chevy small block, a Chevy V8 motor, literally being disassembled, but it looks like it's doing it by itself. So, like... The rags come out of the intake ports and they kind of like fall off the edge of the motor. The bolts unscrew, which is like each bolt. There's fucking 8 bolts in the top of this intake plenum, the intake manifold sitting on the top of this motor.
Somebody had to capture an image each time that thing happened.
So you spin the bolt maybe a quarter turn and it takes, I don't know, fucking 10 turns to get that bolt out of there.
Yeah.
So each image is a quarter turn bolt or half turn bolt times 20 times the fucking 15 or 14 bolts that are on the top of this thing.
Yeah.
And that's just one component on the motor. And they did it for the entire motor, disassembling this thing. I watched the video and I was like, as a motor guy, this is really cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
As a content creator, a person that went to film school and understands how to make stop motion animation, this is an absurd amount of work.
Meticulous.
That people don't even understand how much effort this guy put into making this video. And I think it deserves to be...
It's just 3 minutes of somebody watching something to the person watching it.
It's cool. Guys watch it and they're like, oh, check that out. Stop motion is one of them things that I think people are always fascinated with.
I love it. Like, I just think, like... Without it, like, certain things wouldn't be as cool. Like, we talked about RoboCop.
Yeah.
Ed 209 wouldn't be shit if he wasn't stop-motion animated.
Yeah.
He would just be a big clunky thing. But because it moves the way it moves, there's a dramatic effect to it.
Yeah.
And it's that practical special effect that, like with Star Wars, all those little models, like, like those old, that was... leaps and bounds better than anything that we watch now that's just done with a computer. I just wish that things were still like that.
I mean, I'm not going to say that because I do think that there are some things that computer animation
we couldn't do before. Right.
And I think it adds to the story of like making it beautiful. So for instance, the new Blade Runner, I love Blade Runner. I don't know
Blade Runner's
why.
Great.
I'm just like fascinated with like these
dystopian type future type things.
Dystopian future, but also the gritty darkness of it, but also bad robots. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with like rogue robots that are like gonna fucking kill us. Like artificial intelligence that's like, yup, I'm fucking tired of the human race. I loved Terminator.
Yeah.
You know what? This is the turning point when we turn this back to movies, and let's like now let's take an intermission. Now let's talk about some fucking movies.
All right.
Right there, sponsors. That's where you can put your little fucking ad. And now let's talk about movies. Dude, I love fucking evil robots.
Yeah.
I loved Space Odyssey. I love... anytime there's a film that tickles that idea that, like, is this robot really thinking? Like, is it creating thoughts right now? I love that for some reason.
Did you like that movie AI?
I did love it.
I enjoyed it.
I loved it quite a bit, and I'm fascinated with even... That's part of my fascination with Elon Musk is like, dude, here's a guy that is creating artificial intelligence and attaching human... Like, he's trying to get a chip in people's brains so that they can communicate with the fucking AI. But he also warns people, this is really fucking dangerous, and I might be creating the end of the entire species with this. Like, it's kind of like, well,
it's very science fiction-y.
Like, maybe you should stop doing what you're fucking doing, you know? Like, I don't know, man. Stop fucking playing God right now, because this motherfucker might be a badass. This might be the Terminator. This might be Skynet.
Yeah. I like, I mean, I definitely enjoy... I like anything that's imaginative in that respect.
Yeah.
Like, as far as, like, you know, somebody... Like RoboCop actually was inspired by Blade Runner. Did you know that? The car is the entire... the cop car in Blade Runner is the entire inspiration for RoboCop. The guy who was... I think he worked on Blade Runner. The guy who created RoboCop worked on the Blade Runner set. Yeah. And I think when he saw the car, he just imagined... the robotic police officer standing next to it, and that's where it came from.
Huh.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, so if you go back, I think there's documentaries about it or something. I'm a big RoboCop nut for whatever reason. It's just one of those things that I just can't get enough of. But yeah, I'm like that too. I liked Westworld. Yeah. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, I love.
Yeah, Westworld. I liked the first 2 seasons. Once they got out of the park, I didn't care anymore.
Yeah, but I also think that there's something about Westworld was fascinating to me because it's this human struggle, but it's robots. You know, like, so here are these people that are enslaved in this park, whatever, you know, and they're being horribly mistreated.
Right.
You know, and then the concept is simple, is like, dude, they're going to break free. They want, this is Jurassic Park all over again.
See, I've never seen Jurassic Park.
Really?
I've never watched it.
Same concept. Yeah. Life. Jeff Goldblum's famous line, "Life will find a way," I think is probably one of the most brilliant, really explanation of nature.
Right.
You know, like I always laugh when you talk to people that are doomsday preppers or crazies or whatever. It's like sometimes you have to think to yourself dude, you do realize that life will find a way. Like if the human race destroys this planet bad enough, like George Carlin fucking said it. George Carlin was like, dude, it's not save the world.
Yeah, the world's still going to be here. You ain't going to be here, but the world will.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
The world
will adapt.
The world will cycle over, clean the air, grow more trees and grass.
You just won't be here for it.
Maybe next time it'll be reptile people, or maybe it was first, and maybe they fucked it up. Maybe that's the remnants of the Egyptian pyramids, and maybe that's really
my
what we're
girl is
at.
fascinated by all of that. She just thinks there was technology at some point somewhere, and we fucked it up and went awry, and we had to start all over again, and that's not unfeasible.
So I've been thinking about writing a story about an immortal person. You know, an immortal person that looks like you and I, just doesn't age. And imagine if you were that kind of person and you collectively lived for 1 million years. What would you witness? What is it that we humans live such short lives that we don't understand what 10 generations ago, we don't understand what they might have known. 2,000 years ago, Jesus walked the earth supposedly, but we really have no fucking clue.
Right.
We have no clue. There was no, you couldn't look up the Instagram video and be like, there he is. He walked on water. Nobody has a fucking clue. So, then go tenfold that. Go 20,000 years ago, which in the realm of existence is small. So fucking small. Us humans could have been here already and fucked up a bunch of shit and had a bunch of wars. And I am fascinated too with the idea that they are finding kind of evidence that there were nuclear blasts on these ancient fucking sites that they're dude, I don't know. It looks to me like there was a really bad explosion here, and we don't know why. That's kind of fascinating, and to think that maybe they did have electricity in them, what if they did? How long would it take copper lines. Maybe they didn't use copper. Maybe they used something else, But, like, how long would it take metal to erode and go back into the earth as granulates and become a part of the, the soil? And, nature will wash itself,
Yeah.
It will. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, people that worry about climate change and all that stuff, like, yeah.
The climate is changing.
Yeah, be worried about it, but
Yeah.
don't think that the world's going to end because of it. Like, your world will end because of it. The world isn't going to end because of it.
I mean, that's also the comical thing, because at the end of the day, it's really a selfish take on everything. I really think it always comes back to you're not pious. You're not I love people that are like, oh yeah, I want to help out a community. I want to do this. I want to do that. Dude, it's not for them though. It's for you. You're
but I mean, is there anything? I don't know. Like, I consider myself to be a good-hearted person.
Sure.
I like to do kind things for people, but I never do it with the expectation that I expect that they're going to be grateful at all for it.
Yeah.
I want them to be.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people out there that just aren't that.
Isn't that the complexity?
But at the end of the day, it makes me feel better.
Yeah, but isn't that the complexity of being a good human and having morals? Is at the end of the day, if you are truly, it's funny talking to Christians. Like if you pick out a Christian, like Southern Baptist Christian, you guys believe in being good people and helping other people out, right? Yep. Yes, we do.
They think they're going to be rewarded in the afterlife or something like that.
Yeah, there's always an excuse. There's always a reason for it, but there's also an excuse not to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like any group of people you could ever look at, they all have the philosophy there in front of them. You just pick and choose which time you want to use it and what time you don't want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't think there's ever going to be some solution to, like, make us all moral, I think that's part of life is, maybe when you look at the balance of the equation is maybe there are times when you need people to be nasty, like you need ugly people to keep other people,
to create a balance,
to have a learning process. Maybe that's the whole point of life is like there's a reason that there are lions and lambs and wolves and fucking hyenas and vultures and like all of these different organisms that do different things, and some of them look nasty. A vulture eats dead leftover carcasses. Oh, what a fucking dirty animal.
I think there's always something out there that's going to balance something else out.
Yeah.
It's like I always think this, like Louis C.K. years ago did this bit about people respect crazy. They don't respect stupid.
Yeah.
So like you could do something really stupid and somebody would be like, "What are you, fucking stupid?" But if you do something completely crazy along with doing something stupid, people will let you get away with murder. Like because they respect it, they fear it.
Yeah.
And then like I kind of think like sometimes like I think of the most careless person I know. Like I have somebody who's close to me who's very careless in life. Like they have nothing,
Sure.
And they're almost happy with having nothing.
Yeah.
But it seems like somebody else takes up the slack for caring for that person.
Sure.
So it's like, I guess like the only way to be free in life is to have nothing. Like, like how else, as long as you're invested in something, you're creating some kind of stress about it. So if you don't have that, you don't have it. That's the only way you can really be free is to have nothing.
Isn't that the point of like nihilism though?
I guess, but I wouldn't say this person's a nihilist. I think this person is just like
simple.
I don't know, but a little crazy. But
I think that even when you look at like a minimalist, like I idolize.
Yeah, I would much rather not care about having things.
Yeah.
I wish that I could just be content having what I need.
I mean, isn't that the point of like when you see those memes of like a cabin out on the side of a mountain somewhere and it says, you can live here for the rest of your life.
Right.
But you'll never be able to watch football again. Would you do it? Like, Isn't that really like the question that they're asking is, would you rather be a minimalist or would you rather live here with all this bullshit and deal with all of this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's really like that question is so loaded. It's more than football. If you lived in that cabin in them woods and lived off the land and drank the water out of the spring next to you, you are going to give up way more than football. You're going to give up your Starbucks. You're going to give up your fucking Nikes. You're going to give up your
all
car.
the comfort of all the things. You're going to
give up everything. You're going to give up hanging out with your friends on the fucking weekends and, you know, trying to fuck some chick in a bar. You're giving up everything.
Sometimes, like, I get so stressed out. Like, I get paid. All my bills get paid.
Yeah.
That's really all I need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the lights aren't going out and there's food to eat. I really shouldn't be complaining, right? Like, I have it better than a lot of people in that regard.
Yeah.
There's people out there who can't do just that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, if I don't have money left over to feel comfortable afterwards, I'm, like, stressed out. I'm angry. I'm, like, discontented.
Maybe that's a part of, like, the American blight. Like, the idea of the American dream is, like, we never really understand
how good you have it.
So in that movie, The Watchmen, I loved that movie, by the way.
I read the comic when I was like 9 years old, and I didn't understand it because like I used to go to this comic store in Philadelphia. I don't think it's there anymore, called Green Onion.
Okay.
And when I got really into comics, these guys were like old hippie guys that ran the place, and I was like, "What's good? What's like something really good that I should read?" And the guy gave me Watchmen. And I was like fucking young. I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand this at all. It's really and it wasn't comics like what I knew when I was at that age. Like everything was splash pages and fucking Spawn and like, you know, X-Men and shit like that. Watchmen wasn't that.
Yeah.
Watchmen was like a literary fucking thing to really read. I didn't read it again until I was like 19, and then I understood it.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't think the show or the movie do the book justice.
Like I've never read the book.
The book's amazing.
Perhaps I should, because I saw the movie. I saw the show, which I guess is a...
I like the show.
The show was entertaining, but I guess it's a
little too much pandering.
I
felt.
With the woke culture, or...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think that, like... I don't know. But I also don't know the story, so I don't really know what's... Like, I think the show happens after the movie. I think that's the way...
Well, yeah, the show is supposed to be like a companion piece to the comic book, but the comic book does... The movie really does kind of reflect the same story as the book. They just changed little parts of it and shortened things in the... Like, at the end, there's that explosion that's caused by Dr. Manhattan or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, seemingly by Dr. Manhattan. It's actually Ozymandias. Really, in the comic, it's like this giant alien squid thing that just overtakes New York or whatever, and everybody thinks it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
So in the show, when it's raining squids, it's like remnants from that.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But so it's really a companion piece to the comic than it is to the movie.
Oh, because there's stuff. I
think if you read the book and then watched the show, you would understand the show a lot more than you would if you were using the movie as your reference.
Yeah, because the movie... Now, see, that's the thing, is I think it's very difficult to watch a movie that's based upon a book.
Yeah.
Because I think that they're never going to...
You can't really replicate it.
They're not going to line up correctly. A story can be told in such a way that it paints a picture that movies can't make.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not... It's not fucking doable.
The book is... It's going to take you a lot longer to read the book than it would. You'd really have to invest yourself into it. There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
Like the parts with Rorschach are much more sprawling, and then there's also like a book within the book. The Black Freighter is like in a world of superheroes. Like the comic book is a book about pirates and stuff. Like they don't worry about superheroes and comic books in that world because that's what they have. Like Watchmen is kind of like a real world with superheroes.
Yeah.
That's the premise of it. You know? So, like, what their entertainment isn't the same. Like, for us, like, comic book heroes are comic books. In a world like that, they're not going to read comic books about superheroes because they live in that world.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's different. It's probably one of the best written comics you'd ever want to read.
Huh.
You know?
Well, I mean, that being said, I still enjoyed the movie.
Oh yeah, I liked the movie too.
Yeah, I forget what I was referencing from that movie though. I was going to say something.
I know, we totally forget now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. We shit the bed on that one. That's all right.
Yeah.
It's good when you talk more than me. I feel good about that. Oh man, I'll tell you what. I don't want to. I'm worried that I'm going to eat into your time, man.
I don't even know what time it is.
I want to make sure that I'm not holding you up.
We're good for a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Outstanding.
You can keep talking about comic books and movies if you want.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I'm kind of done with the Marvel universe.
I don't care anymore.
I'm kind of burnt out on that, man. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, I liked it in the beginning. Now I'm like, it's getting too far away from me.
I really feel like we need another
Batman movie. For me, like that Christopher Nolan Batman that's my favorite.
That's the only
one I care about. It's the only.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched the new ones.
I did enjoy the new one.
I did watch the new one. Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
The only thing I didn't like about it is it was too gloomy.
No, I love that.
There was zero humor.
Yeah.
Like not even like a shred of humor, you know?
I like that about it, man.
No?
Because to me, whenever I think about, like to me, it's a very serious. It is a modern version of like God and the devil. You know, like it really is like a retelling of like good and evil, and like I even like the fact that it is. I think it has to be dark because that makes it more human. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, when I think about what would a real hero look like, a real hero, I think, would be a person that fucking constantly struggles with themselves. You know, like there are so many facets to this idea of like, I'm going to help other people and do this for a good. But there's also going to be an internal battle within that particular character of like, am I really being a good person right now? Right. Am I doing the right thing? Am I like...
I think Batman is kind of the perfect superhero. I don't think it really gets much better than Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Even the villain of the Joker is like such a... He is born from the fact that there is a Batman. There's a There's a fucking person that thinks he's the good guy, and therefore the Joker appeared because like we need a balance. You need.
For me, I thought that Heath Ledger Joker was the best Joker you could have won.
I don't think that I'll ever disagree with that. I don't give a shit whoever.
There's fan theories about it that says that he must have been a soldier or something because of the knowledge that he has about, you know, all of his methods and stuff like that. People think that, I mean, he's fucking firing a bazooka out the side of a fucking, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. And then like, his knowledge of like explosives, like look what I did to the city with a few cans of gasoline, and you know, like they just like, they make it sound like he's a soldier who kind of survived fucking war and just is not like, he's not adapting.
Came home and decided to just let it fucking go.
Well, but I mean, he even makes a speech in the movie at one point where he says, you know, if I tell you that like a school bus full of children gets blown up, everybody loses their mind. But if I tell you like a bunch of soldiers get killed, nobody cares because it's all part of the plan. Like there's little interesting tidbits to it that really lend to that theory that he's a war veteran.
I like that.
I like it too. And I like the new Joker. The new Joker movie was good too.
So that is by far very high. Now the problem is the new Joker movie to me is not a comic book movie. It's not a superhero.
It's like a mental health fucking commentary.
But I love what do they call them? Psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
You know, to me when I watch that, I also think that Joaquin Phoenix is a brilliant actor.
You know, you ever see a movie called You Were Never Really Here?
Dude, do you know how fucking that movie like haunts
You've seen
me?
that?
It haunts me.
It's a great movie.
Because when you watch it, do you understand the title? Like he doesn't know if the little girl was real.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of getting cold chills right now because I think to myself like, it's kind of heartbreaking that there's this person that is searching for meaning and he knows he's a violent person, and he's like, I'm gonna do a good act. I'm gonna fix this, you know. But then he's like struggling with his mental health. Like, I don't know if this is a real little girl or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't know if she's real. That's what I interpret that whole thing as, like, he can't decide whether he's hallucinating or not, you know? And he's putting himself through fucking hell, you know? I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it again, but that's the way I kind of read that, you know?
No, I think the little girl was real through it. I think it's all the suicidal ideation that he has throughout the whole movie, where he's kind of imagining killing himself over and over in the movie and stuff. But
yeah,
that was a fucking wild movie. Movie.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
But I think that's my kind of movie. Is like,
yeah.
I understand brute fucking violence, and I understand the mental anguish, you know. So I really do kind of lean towards stories like that. Movies in general and storytelling. That was fucking creepy. That was one of my kids' toys just deciding to fucking talk to us.
Yeah.
Let's go! Okay, you little fucking serial killer. So, as a kid, I loved film, you know, like I just loved, I dove into movies because, like, I was very unhappy with the real world, you know? Maybe that's why I did drugs and drank and raised hell too, is like, at the end of the day, man, I was so fascinated with fucking just creating new worlds, you know, like new, you know, it always fascinates me to bring it back to like Blade Runner and then like Alien and like the intermingling of like some of the characters and some of the, dude, do you know how fucking excited I get about that? Like, dude, I love that.
I do know. Yeah.
You know,
my
like,
whole life is about that stuff.
Dude,
so.
I get so, I mean, that's why, like, the Marvel Universe thing, I loved.
I loved it in the beginning.
I mean, dude, after the last Avengers, like Avengers Endgame, I was like, yep, okay, we're done here. Like, you fucking finished the story, dude. We're done.
Yeah, it's like a new story. I'm not interested. But it's not also, like, I don't think it's necessarily for me to enjoy.
Yeah,
I think it's for another generation to enjoy. I forget sometimes that I'm not always the target audience for things.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's, but for me, and that's the only way I can ever observe anything, is like, dude, I just don't know if you're ever going to be able to, I don't know if the Marvel Universe is going to be able to replicate what they did with the first movies.
I think they just did too well with, you know, that was the perfect Iron Man.
Yep.
You know, there were so many things about it that were perfect. Thor was cool. Yeah.
You know, they were all, I think, the perfect versions of what I'll never... If they ever make another fucking Thor movie, I'll never think of the next guy as like, that's what Thor looks like.
Yeah, that's weird.
They had
like,
Thor movies in the past.
I remember, the only thing I remember with Thor was there was an Incredible Hulk TV movie with the old Bill Bixby Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
They did one where, I can't remember that guy's name. He's in True Romance, though. He plays Thor.
Yeah.
He plays Boris in True Romance. You know, the guys that are like with the guns at the director's apartment or whatever. I hate fucking cops. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
That guy played Thor.
Really?
Yeah. Here's something I never told you about me, Lee. I hate fucking cops. That guy. He played Thor, yeah. I can't remember what his name is, though. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But, yeah. He's in a lot of stuff, that guy.
I'm hoping that storytelling comes back in movies, you know? You know, like, I know that a lot of Hollywood is going towards miniseries, and I'm cool with that as long as it's a well thought out story. You know, right now I'm watching The Last of Us or something with this little girl.
Yeah, on HBO. I never watched it.
I think it sucks.
I don't. Yeah, I think it sounds like it sucks. Like, I don't care. I don't want to watch any more of these fucking zombie things.
Dude, I'm fucking worn out on the zombie shit.
Yeah, I am
dude.
too.
You know, like after The Walking Dead, I was like, okay, I am officially checking
I can't believe
that's
going on as long as it has.
Jesus Christ, man. When they got rid of the main character, I literally was like, yep, turn this off. I'm fucking done here.
I was never really a fan. My family watched it, and I didn't watch it. But, I mean, I watched like certain episodes because it was on, but
even
I just didn't like it.
Even when the main character Rick was on the show, I was getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And like with that character Negan, and we discussed.
Yeah,
that,
we discussed that. How do you go from that to being a good guy? And it just didn't make any sense.
Dude, at that point I was
convoluted, contrived.
Yeah, man, you're fucking just dragging this dead fucking horse down the street.
You're grasping at straws.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
You know? So it's time to fucking just move on.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with just being satisfied with a story and just being like, that's what it is?
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's what, like, more and more, I don't care about, like, as much as I love characters and superheroes and all that shit, I love all that stuff. And I'm always going to be nostalgic for it.
So, you know what I wish? You know what I wish they would have done? Do you know how American Horror Story...
I never watched it.
You know why it's great?
Because they do a different story every fucking season.
Every season, it is literally the
same actors.
Same actors.
And different roles.
Totally different roles and totally different stories. And then there's like a theory that they're connected. But like that's part of the fun, I think, is
to use your imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they would have done that with the Westworld.
Yeah.
You know, like there was so much opportunity to go like, okay, this season is the Westworld. Next season
I liked the Samurai World. I thought that was cool as shit.
Samurai World would have been great.
Yeah, and I like the idea that they used the same storylines in Samurai World as they did in Westworld, because there's an episode where, like, this is my fucking story.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, Hector was like, this is my story.
Yeah.
And the guy who writes it is like, what do you think? I can just write different stories for everything? Like, you know, that was a pretty cool, like, aspect of it.
Well, I mean, that's a good way of explaining it. But I think that if they would have done something similar with Westworld. If they would have taken Westworld after season 1 and said, okay, now we're going to move over to Samurai World or...
Which I kind of thought they would.
I thought that would have been brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you could have told a totally new story.
Or I think it was called Shogun World or something. I don't know what the fuck it was called. It was SW. It wasn't WW.
And then done like you could have done anything. You could have done a Victorian era, like when you go back to the Victorian. You could have done, anything. You could have, the Roaring 20s.
I like the whole story idea of Westworld.
Yeah.
About the robots kind of rising up and being like, look, we're just as much a living organism as these people that are kind of exploiting us, kind of thing.
Maybe they couldn't come up with another brilliant story, though, and that's why they wrote the shit out of it.
It just seemed really, like, I couldn't keep up with it. Like, I just felt like I was, like, every week I was, like every week I had to refresh myself. Yeah. So imagine how you had to feel after 9 months of not watching it, you know?
They could have even gotten clever and said, all right, we're going to do a future world where it's all robots. And, like, then it would have been this intertwined, like, are they in the real world? Or are they in the game? Like, are they, like, there was so much potential. And I really feel like the writers shit the bed after the first.
I think, like, when you have an idea that's so great, and you don't really have a whole lot of knowledge about what you're writing, you're kind of doomed. Like, if you can't write what you know, then eventually you're not going to... I mean, you can kind of fake it for a little while.
Yeah.
But eventually it's going to come out that, like, this ain't going nowhere.
Well, you know what happens is now they're stealing writers. Yeah. So now Hollywood is scooping up writers before they get a chance to write this big saga, So, like, the... what's it? The Tolkien, like,
H.R. Tolkien or whatever.
Yeah, like all these guys that, like, they started this thing, they weren't popular, and then they took it and bought it, and like, all right, we're gonna fucking make our own thing out of it, and like, the Harry Potter and the fucking, what's the other one that they destroyed?
Lord of the Rings.
No, Lord of the Rings was already books and it was finished, but there was the recent one. Fucking
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Dude, you should have let this finish correct. Like, I'm one of these guys that I'm telling you, I'm gonna go to my fucking grave thinking
you hated the last 2 seasons of that, right? That's what you said.
I think that they fucking murdered a beautiful thing. Like, I think you took it. And you just, like, you took the Mona Lisa and lit her fucking face on fire. Like, dude, what the fuck?
Really? Does it go that fucking far south?
You took the Sistine Chapel and you let my kids just go ape shit with some markers in there. Like, you you fucking jerked off all over.
I hate that. I hate that
know?
feeling when I watch something. Like, I felt that way about like DC, like, really fucking shits the bed when it comes to like their fucking cinematic universe. Like,
sure.
so they're retooling the whole thing now. But like, there's that Batman Superman movie where I just felt like I was like watching something like a little kid was playing with action figures in his bathtub or some shit right in that. Like, it just felt so fucking silly. Like they tried to blend all these different elements of all these different comics into one movie. Dude, it's just, this is terrible. And that's the same guy that made Watchmen.
Yeah.
Which I think Watchmen on its first viewing is so good.
Yeah.
But after you watch it like 4 or 5 times, you go, this might be better if they did something a little bit differently, you know.
But you read the book.
I did read the book, yeah.
So I think that there's always going to be that bias.
Yeah, there is that bias, yeah, definitely.
I definitely think that there's a problem with storytelling, that like just books can't translate to movies as well as visual aids are always going to be a you know.
And I don't like that director, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Zack Snyder guy.
Yeah.
I don't like all the slow motion. I think he would be great for like making music videos or something like some kind of content like that, but for long-term storytelling,
yeah,
I just think he just drags things out too much. I mean, it's like if a guy like is just like waving his fucking staff or something.
Yeah.
Like just a simple motion that if you just did it in real time, it would be just as dramatic. Now you've drug it out for 30 seconds and it's like, all right, dude, fucking swing the staff already. Like, I don't care. You know, can we move on? Like, can I get into the story?
Yeah.
It's just, I think, like, it takes away the intrigue, and, like, it gets to the point where it's like I'm so tired from watching the small movements that now the important stuff I don't care about.
Yeah,
you know?
but so I guess, which movie was that? Is that's
that
the
Justice League movie that he did was like that.
Yeah.
The one that they released on HBO was like 4 hours long and 4 different chapters.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah.
I thought that his fucking the Batman Superman movie was like that. It was terrible. And then it's just, I didn't like that new Superman that they made, Man of Steel. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was I thought it was a decent representation of the character, but I just didn't care. Like, I really didn't care. Like, there was things about it. It was just like, when they show him, like, in the field as a little kid with the fucking cape on, standing there, and, like, who is he emulating? Himself?
Yeah.
You're Superman, motherfucker. Like, what superhero are you supposed to be emulating right there? Like, that made no sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, this is the first superhero. You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense.
I don't know, man. I agree with your assessment that DC shits the bed when it comes to
if it's not an isolated story,
other than Batman and the Joker. I really feel like it has gotten better, but now after Christian Bale, I feel like they were like, all right, we're gonna just keep reinventing this fucking story until like we really squeeze every dollar out of it that we possibly can. And like, all right, with Robert Pattinson, I'll tell you, I really enjoyed it. But it's
I don't
also,
like his Bruce Wayne. That's the only thing I don't like about it. I don't like his Bruce Wayne.
Well, it's
whereas
dark
it's
dark and depressing, you know. So like you get.
But so is what's his name? Christian Bale is dark and depressing too. But as Bruce Wayne, that's the disguise.
Yeah.
That's when he has to put the face on and be like, I'm not dark and depressing. I am. You know, this billionaire fucking playboy, and he's playing a part when he's being Bruce Wayne. When he's being Batman, that's the real Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the girl says, like, this is your mask when she touches his face. Like, that's the whole point. But, like, Robert Pattinson was, like, super fucking sad as Bruce Wayne.
That's what he is as a real human, though. Like,
I guess.
This vampire.
Yeah, but that's... See, I don't think that... I think if you're going to act like Bruce Wayne, you got to act like Bruce Wayne.
Well, you know? I mean... like I said, I don't think anybody will ever do it better than
Nolan did, yeah.
You know?
I think that's the best.
Who?
Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale as Batman.
But... And because I think he did pull off that, like, even... I remember the one scene where he, like, jumped in the fountain with the girls or whatever. And you know, like, to look like...
And I'm buying this hotel. Yeah.
Like he pulled off, like, yep, I'm a jerk off, you know? Like, and like, knew, like... That's what I'm selling right now. Yeah. But I agree. I definitely think that like that is the alter ego of what that character is.
He has to be the complete antithesis of what Batman is.
Yeah.
For people to not realize that's him. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Even that scene where the guy's going to reveal his identity in Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And they're trying to stop it because if he reveals the Joker's going to do some wild shit or some shit.
Yeah.
He's in the fast fucking car, speeding around and shit, kind of preventing it. But then once he's out of the car and he's like, I don't know. He played
stupid.
He played stupid, right? Like,
yeah, the cop
who's
was
that
like,
guy?
The cop was like, he said something like, "Oh, are you getting, and he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm just driving like
around like an asshole.
Right?
Like, yeah, that's kind of So I thought those were the best Batman movies in my opinion. I think it ended a little goofy, but it's kind of hard to end a story like that. Plus, when you have a character like the Joker who you can't really bring back, because Heath Ledger died and all. So I think had the third movie been what it was intended to be, it might have been a little bit better. But
my only disappointment about the third movie is that I think somebody like John Cena or The Rock should have been the physical person
as
Bane.
Yeah. Tom Hardy is a little small, but I do like Tom Hardy as Bane.
Yeah, so like even if you did like a character, so this is where it gets expensive though in my mind. Like if we had an unlimited budget, you need somebody that has the wit, the English accent, the craftiness and the very delivered, thought out answers of Bane, because Bane is a fucking juggernaut of a human.
He's kind of a mixture of characters.
Yeah.
In the movie, in the comic book, he's not that.
Yeah.
The comic book, he's like an Argentinian pro wrestler with this fucking venom juice that makes him grow and get stronger and shit like that. Whereas in the movie, he's this mercenary. And he's down in the sewers, so he's kind of like. He's this mercenary who's part of the League of Shadows. He's also a little bit of Killer Croc in the sewers and stuff like that. And then and Joker's like that too. Joker is kind of like the Riddler.
Yeah.
Like they're mixtures of other characters put into one character,
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
He's two different characters in the comic book. He's Ra's al Ghul and Ducard, but in the movie they're the same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was put together perfectly.
Yeah.
I liked it. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to go upstairs and watch it.
Yeah.
I ain't doing shit today.
No, I'm going to go to work.
It's going to be one of them kind of days, man. I ain't doing shit. I got to go up to Grace Ferry.
Do you?
And do a job up there. Right on the Schuylkill.
Nice.
There's a crane on a barge.
I used to swim in the Schuylkill.
Yeah, I used to swim in the Darby Creek, man.
It's all the same. Dirty little bastard.
It's all the same dirty ass, oil infested, mercury.
We used to have this kid Mitchell, who was crazy, and he barely spoke any English. And we would get up there on the Black Bridge, and we used to jump into the river from the Black Bridge.
Yeah.
And we would jump.
You know the 420 bridge? We used to do the same thing.
Yeah,
right
but
there.
we would jump feet first, like just jump off and go in.
Yeah.
This dude was like. Barely spoke any English, Puerto Rican kid, and he would go, me no jump, me dive. And he would do like a perfect Olympic dive, like into the fucking shitty ass Schuylkill River.
That's hard, man. I did it. So we used to swim down in Tinicum where the Darby opens up to the Delaware River.
Yeah.
So there's, right next to the Ramada Inn, there's these big trestles sticking up in the air.
Yeah, I know.
Train trestles. Yep. So we used to, there's a big stone counterweight that would help lower the bridge. So we would run and jump off that stone counterweight over, there's a tin shack about 40 or 50 feet down on the train track, alongside the train tracks. We would jump over that fucking thing into the water right there. John, let me tell you something, man. We showed up one day at low tide, and I saw that there was about 15 fucking pilings sticking up right there.
Ooh.
That, like, we could have, like,
could have hit them. Yeah.
Hit them and got fucked up. Like, they weren't sharp or nothing. It wouldn't have, like,
no, but the blunt,
us.
Yeah.
But you would have hit it and it fucking broke your leg or, like. So, like, after that, we were like, okay, it's definitely a bad idea to. Yeah. But one thing I did, and I am definitely a kid that did do this, because we heard a lot of rumors about kids doing this. Oh, I did it one day. I climbed. So on the side of that thing, you used to be able to climb up the train tracks, like up the wooden boards, and then you could kind of like there were like 7 different webs on the steel sides of the thing that you could climb out onto and then jump off of, like on the bottom side of it. So there were 7 levels or something like that. I don't know how many there were, but nobody ever went to the very top and jumped off the top. And I was like, all right,
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna fucking be the guy that does it. And dude, I did. And as I was coming down, I got fucking scared, and like I usually like pencil in, but I let my arms out because I was like, oh shit, you know. And dude, I bruised the undersides of my fucking like arms up to my elbows because it slapped so fucking hard on that water. Dude, it was like, and then I felt the mud. Like I went
you went
so
that far
low
down. Yeah.
That I like kicked the mud on the bottom and realized, oh shit, like, you know, dude, people get stuck in the mud and die.
Yeah.
You know, so like I almost fucked up real bad. Like really, like almost could have killed myself. You know? So yeah, man, I used to do that.
Yeah, we were dumb kids.
Yeah, man. And it's funny because like I remember as a kid hearing stories of, oh yeah, well this guy used to dive off the top.
I had a cousin whose friend died.
Yeah.
Swimming in a river. The tide took him under and he died. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's a fucking serious thing.
Yeah.
You know? So, and then in Eddystone, where Harris Casino is now, that's right across the border in Chester.
Yeah.
Harris Casino used to be Sunship and Sunship right there, and they had a floating dry dock, which looked like it kind of looked like a half pipe. You know, like it was like this giant thing that they would fill up with water. It would sink down into the river, and then they would drain all the water out, and it would float and pick the ship up out of the water. That's how they would work on some of the ships down there. So they had steps on the side of it that went up the side all the way to the top platforms on both sides, and we would jump off the platforms into the water. John, listen to how fucking stupid we were. We literally were like, all right, well, we can only swim down there when the tide's coming in, because if you jump out, it'll push you up against the metal, so you can climb back up the side. Dude, if you jumped too high and went under the dock was like 200 or 300 feet long. You're gonna fucking drown because you're not gonna
find your way out from under.
Yeah. You know, so like, dude, just so many stupid fucking things that we've done as children, and like, we're lucky, man.
You're lucky to still be here.
We're lucky that we, you know. So like, sometimes when the kids are like, I just want to stay in and like watch cartoons, I think other parents are like, yeah, well, it's better than you jumping off a fucking dry dock and drowning yourself. So like, you know, I understand the fear of being a parent, but on the same token, you gotta learn. You gotta make mistakes.
My son was like one of those bike kids.
Yeah.
The wheelie motherfuckers, in Philly, and we talked about that when they took over a 676 array. He was there for that.
Really.
And I remember being upset with him about it.
Yeah.
But there was also a part of me that was like happy to see him doing something like that, because it was like, it kind of felt like he was a part of something that was different. It was like they were kind of like, you know, it was something, even though we were a large group of kids, there was something very individual about them doing that. You know what I mean?
I think it says something about belonging to a community.
Yeah, you want to...
Let me tell you something. You and I won't get it because we weren't a part of that.
Right.
But 20 years
there were things
from
that
now,
we did that were a part of something similar.
10 or 20 years from now, your son is going to be explaining that, like, dude, we shut down a fucking interstate through Philadelphia. He did it. That was a part of his life, you know?
And he was happy when he was doing it. Like, he was happy. Like, I mean, he would be out front of the house all day long fucking doing these goofy wheelies, and he was good at it, but he was happy doing it.
Yeah.
You know? So, even though I couldn't stand it, you know? And I always worried, because I was like, you're going to get by a fucking car, you're going to do something dumb.
Yeah.
But I guess that's part of life, is, you know, doing something dumb.
The way legends are created is you got to do shit that people are amazed with. I built skate parks in the back alley behind my house when we were kids in Eddystone down in the village. And still to this day, sometimes guys are like, dude, I remember that skate park that you had in the back alley. And I'm like, I was the kid that built everything, though.
Right.
I was like, I had fucking ramps and these railings and quarter pipes and all kinds of shit. And like, guys from up here, Glen Olden, and like friends of mine that I skateboarded and rollerbladed with around here would literally catch the bus, the 112 down Chester Pike to get off in Eddystone to come hang out behind my fucking house because I built all these. And kids, every generation's going to have their stories, their things that they did, and like, it's just a generational difference, man. It's just, back to when Mark was on our show and like that generational bias, you know, you fucking pussies did this, or, like, who knows, the kids nowadays, young kids will be like, oh, I was on this video game. Remember this video game? I had this character and it was this level, and you and I
aren't going to understand it.
I don't get it at all.
I'm cool with nothing,
Yeah.
Whatever.
They're going to be like, right before the Matrix took us all, I played this video game. I was like Neo in the Matrix. Okay, cool.
I don't know. Like you said, I think there's some comfort in the idea that, like, I know where you are and I know you're safe.
Yeah.
But there's also that feeling of, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
They got to explore. They got to learn. They got to do things.
But I think that goes back to, I was happy with putting things on paper and being meticulous about something and trying to create things. So I wasn't really out there doing a whole lot of things, but I still was able to fill in time, like I said, like, jumping into the river here and there, or,
sure,
doing stuff like that.
I think that's life, man. I think that every generation is going to have their own trials and tribulations. Some kid right now is playing a video game and he's mastering that video game, whatever his character is, Minecraft or whatever stupid shit they're doing.
I don't know.
You and I call it stupid, but to that kid, he is being meticulous and he knows.
Yeah, I guess
and
there's a level of creativity to it.
Other kids are looking at his character and they're going, my fucking God, I can't believe what he's created here, And
I guess so.
You and I won't understand it. We're old school. We're
like, if I couldn't do it with my mind and my fucking hand, it didn't matter. You know what I mean?
But that's not the way the world's going anymore. AI, this whole, even just drawing on an iPad, I
don't have a problem with people drawing on the iPad because they're still drawing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's just something more, I don't know. I just prefer it better to be, I'm here with a pen and an actual piece of paper and, figuring it out.
Well.
And I'm crumpling it up and I'm throwing it away. I'm starting it again. And, it's just, I don't know. There's a certain different level of pride in being creative, I think. I don't know. But I guess it is essentially the same exercise mentally, If you're drawing it on an iPad or you're drawing on a piece of paper, what's the difference? You're still fucking drawing it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why don't we end this episode with you kids online.
Cunts.
You're cunts.
All right.
Ah, man. Another good one, man. Another good one.
Yeah. I always, like I said, I just
How
go
you feel,
through
man? We started out talking about mental illness.
I knew we weren't going to fucking stay on
We
track.
never do.
We never do, no.
Yeah. But do you feel good? Do you feel like maybe this...
I never feel good.
Really?
No. At the end of every one, I go, this one, they made no sense. I don't know why we went this way. But, yeah, I felt the same way about the last one, and I loved it. I felt that way about the one with Mark, and I loved it.
Maybe you are going through something, because I feel good, man.
Do you? Cool.
Yeah, like to me, sometimes when I'm in a funk, I just need to talk my way out of it, you know? So, I mean, I guess I was kind of hoping that was going to be your answer is, like,
no.
You know what?
Well, you're asking...
We made some jokes.
Listen,
we talked about,
you're
killer
talking to
robots.
somebody who fucking analyzes everything they say to the point that it doesn't even exist anymore. So I'm so critical of everything that, like you said, I'm editing constantly.
Well, then I'm going to have to put this episode up fucking now so that you can hear how awesome this shit is.
You can do that. This could be this week's episode if you want. You can put it up as soon as I leave if you want. I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
I like the Sunday thing, man.
It doesn't matter.
I feel like I gotta, but I can send it to you like I always promise to, but I never do.
It doesn't matter. You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you want to put it up, we can get back together again sometime this week and do another one. We could do that too.
It's only Tuesday. We probably can.
Yeah, but we didn't put one up on Sunday.
Yeah.
So this could be this week's episode if you want. If you want. Yeah. All you gotta do is, what do you gotta put in there? The outro? The intro and the outro?
It takes 10 minutes.
Here you go. What else were you gonna do?
Meh.
You're not doing shit else.
I ain't doing shit else.
You ain't doing shit else.
Let's fucking hear it.
All right, word.
See you, man.
Later, dude.